Good afternoon, Key Stage 4. Welcome back. It's a pleasure to be able to talk to you guys again. I hope your week back has not been too much of a shock to the system, and that you really enjoyed half term and had a chance to have a real break and hopefully enjoy a little bit of the fabulous sunshine that we had. So we've got quite a few things to go through today. There's some important changes that we're making to the way that the virtual school is running, which I need to share with you. I need to talk to Year 11 in particular about their college applications and their preparations for next September. I need to talk to you all about the idea of virtual open days. We've got a weekly recipe challenge, which is starting, and then we'll have the message before we move on to shout-outs and the Amazon gift card winner. The first thing I need to talk to you about is some changes that we're making to how the virtual school is going to work. We talked at the end of last half term about how important it is to make sure that all of us are making the most of the opportunity that we've got to be working, even though we're not in school. We talked about the fact that your GCSEs are a bit like a race, and that lots of other people around the country are continuing to train for that race. And some of us, honestly, just are not training as hard as we should be or could be. So we thought really hard as a school about how we can sort of support you with this. And we've come up with a few things. So the first thing is to say that Seneca is going to continue as it has been. Some of you, lots of you, are making really good use of Seneca, so that resource is going to stay exactly as it is, and you just carry on doing what you're doing. However, we are also really aware that there are some of you who just haven't been able to or haven't accessed Seneca for whatever reason. So in order to support those people who haven't been able to, each department has spent their half term and the start of this week creating really, really detailed, really focused workbooks for year 10 to help you prepare for what you need to be ready for in year 11. Okay, so those have been made, they've been printed, and they should be with you very shortly. And when you get those, you just go onto the school website, or if you can, or go find the timetable. And just follow that timetable exactly as it says, but instead of using Seneca, you'll use the workbooks that are there for you. Okay, so the idea is that every single person will have access to the work, and there's no reason then why you would not be able to prepare yourself fully for September. Sort of following on from that, we are aware that there are barriers, that there are issues that have stopped people from being able to do as much work as they might have liked to. But we're also aware that there are some people who maybe have just lacked a bit of motivation. So in order to sort of help you out with this, we've changed the way that we're monitoring what work is being done. So up till now, it's been done kind of through departments, and they've known how much of their work you've been doing. But that work is now going to be shared. That is now going to be shared with your tutor. So every week, your tutor will get a report that will tell them exactly how much work has been completed in all of the different areas. And how much you should have completed. And then off the back of that, we're also going to be having a weekly phone conversation with every single one of you. So starting next week, every Tuesday, you'll be getting a phone call from your tutor, or from a head of department, or from a senior leader, or from a member of the student support team. To talk through how your week's been, to check in, to make sure you're okay, to see what's going on with you first and foremost, but then also to have a chat through what work you've done, what work you need to do, what the kind of priorities are, and just to give you a bit more of someone to touch base with and talk through what's happening with your preparations for year 11. The other big thing that we need to, so you should be expecting, so from this Tuesday, expect those phone calls. Every single person will be receiving one. The next thing we need to talk about is kind of the pathway back to school. I know that a lot of you will have seen the news, you will have seen different schools with lots of different ideas about getting students back to school. The first thing to say is that we are absolutely committed to following the school's guidance and making sure that when we do get you back to school, it will be completely in line with the best scientific advice that there is, and completely in line with the government guidance. We're also really committed to following what the government is saying, which is that every year 10 student should have an opportunity to come back into school and have some face-to-face time with their teachers with members of staff from the school. So we're still in the planning stages of this. We still don't have a 100% plan, but over the next few weeks or next week or so, you should expect to be receiving information about how that is going to be managed. But I can't stress enough, this will not happen unless it is completely safe. But as soon as we are happy that it is safe, we're going to start looking at how we can get you back in so that we can have those conversations, we can check where you're at, and we can help you be prepared for September. And the final point to mention is around our current Year 11 and their results day. So at the moment, we're not sure what results day will look like. Our hope is that we will be able to have students in school in some capacity. Obviously, you'll be receiving a letter, but the ambition is that we will have some sort of time where we can meet together and celebrate all of the fantastic hard work that you've done this year. The next minute or so is specifically aimed at Year 11, who are going off to college next year. So Year 11, listen up. Year 10, just hang on for one moment. So obviously Year 11, we haven't had the chance to do quite the same college preparation that we would like to do because you haven't been in school. We're still trying to do it as virtually as we can. But there's a couple of things that I really need to reiterate to make sure that you're ready for next year. Thank you, first of all, to everyone who completed the destination data. That's really helpful information. I think we had almost 100%. We now know where you're going, what you're doing. That's absolutely brilliant because that's going to help us to support you going forward. But there's a few key messages for everybody. The first thing is to say that college applications are still ongoing. Almost all of you have got applications into 3 colleges. However, if you don't, those applications are still happening. So you can apply online, there are virtual interviews still happening. So if you don't have a full complement of colleges, you still need to be looking, you still need to be applying. The second thing to say is, obviously colleges have been hit by COVID as well. They're shut in the same way that we've had to, which has kind of had a bit of a knock-on effect for their college application process. So if you haven't heard back from a college that you've applied for, that doesn't mean you haven't got in, that doesn't mean they don't want you. Potentially you're stuck in the admin a little bit. So the best thing to do if you're not sure is just to either call the admissions team or to email them. If you go onto the website, you'll always find a little tab that says contact us. Click on there and just drop them an email or drop them a phone message and ask them, what the status of your application is. And the third and final thing I want to talk to you about is this idea of bridging units. So most of you are going on to college to study A-levels or to study higher courses, and we need to be prepared for those. A-level is different to GCSE. Okay, the way you will work at college is different to the way that we work at Arc Bolton, and you need to be prepared for that. So what I would strongly advise you do is go to your college website again. Lots of colleges are producing what they call bridging units, which are like online courses that will specifically prepare you for the A-levels that you have chosen to do. So go to your college website, search for bridging units, see if they have anything specifically for their course. If your college doesn't have that, then I really urge every single one of you to go to the Cadbury Sixth Form College website. There's a link on the right-hand side there, and sign up to their free Step Up to A-Level program. Okay, this is a program that's designed to prepare you for sixth form, college, and for A-Level. Okay, they've got specific tailored courses for over 25 A-levels. Okay, so they're really, really specifically designed to help you prepare. So if you're studying law at college and you've never done any of that before, this is really going to help you to understand what you need to do and how it links to all of the other stuff that you've learned before. So there's a really vital and massively useful resource that you must be accessing over the next few weeks in order to make sure that you hit the ground running in September. Again, that leads beautifully on to the next thing I want to talk to you about, which is college virtual open days. So normally this time of year, all of the colleges would be holding open days where you can go and have a look around the college, you can meet the teachers, the tutors, you can talk to students about what their experience has been like at that college and have a look at the facilities. and get a really good idea of what life would be like for you at that college next year. This applies not just to year 11, but also to year 10, because year 10, you're now in that position where you will be applying this year for your college places. So it makes sense for you to be using the time that we've got now to start looking and start thinking about where you might want to go in a year's time. So obviously with the coronavirus, most of these college open days, in fact, all of these college open days have been cancelled. But what's happening now is a lot of colleges are beginning to replace them with virtual open days. So what I've done is I've spent the last week really ringing round all the different colleges that you lot have applied to or might want to apply to, and trying to get an idea of when their open day is going to be, what they're offering and what they're going to be doing. It's kind of a new thing. It's something they're just starting to get their heads around. So at the moment, lots of them are planning on doing it, but don't yet have all of the information available. So for example, Joseph Chamberlain are intending to do virtual open days, but they haven't nailed down exactly when they're going to be or what they're going to look like. But a really, really good example of what that will be is Southern City College have got theirs up and running already. So every Wednesday throughout the month of June, you can take part in a college virtual open day for Southern City College, Birmingham. So if you've applied there, I would absolutely recommend that you go and do this. If you're year 10 and you're just wanting to get an idea of what colleges may be going to be like, I would absolutely advise that you get involved and have a look at this as well. So what you do is you go to the website, ssb.ac.uk, or just click on the link in this video here, and it will take you to a little registration page. It's all free. You just register. You must register by the end of Tuesday or you'll miss it. But sign yourself up before Tuesday, and then on the Wednesday you can log in. And there's all sorts of stuff going on. So they've got messages from their students. They've got like a breakdown of all the different courses, the campuses and the facilities that are available. They'll give you an overview of where your chosen course might take you, what careers you might want to go on and do. There's kind of some stories from the students and members of staff. There's also what they call web chat takeovers, where you can actually ask questions about a specific course. But the other thing is they have live Q&A sessions for each individual course. So it's not just a general thing about the college, it's also delving into the individual courses that you might be interested in taking. So it's a great resource for anyone who is going to go to Southern City College. It's also a fantastic resource for anyone who's still not 100% sure where they want to go or what they want to do. So I strongly advise that before next Tuesday, you get yourself along to that website, get registered, and go and see what's going on, because it looks absolutely brilliant. Next up then is the recipe challenge. So Miss Allen is intending to expand your horizons. I know lots of us during this strange time are taking on new tasks, learning to do new things. And one of the things you might fancy doing is having a bit of cooking. So Miss Allen has put together some recipes. So every week she'll be putting out a new one for you to try. And they're all made with stuff you should be able to get hold of quite easily. So today's is a rather tasty looking cheese and tomato grilled fish. So feel free, it's on the website as well, but feel free to pause the video, get your ingredients list, and get in the kitchen and get cooking. I'd love to see some photos as well, so feel free to email those in if you do have a go. And so that brings us on to today's message. Today I want to talk to you about something that's happening in the United States at the moment. So currently the news and social media are completely dominated by reports relating to the murder of an African-American man, George Floyd, by law enforcement officers in the USA. This tragic event has led to mass protests against racial injustice across America and the rest of the world. Some of the images and footage that are being shared across news outlets and social media are graphic and understandably are stirring up feelings of confusion and frustration. When trying to understand these reports, irrespective of our own opinions, it's really important that we as a community reflect on and discuss the events in a sensitive and compassionate way, as a man has tragically lost his life. Though this tragedy has left the world shaken, it's also led to many people taking the time to learn more about racial injustice in our society, reflecting on their own experiences of race and assessing their own prejudices in light of what they've learned. An example of this can be seen in the image on the screen of police officers in North Carolina who diffused a tense standoff with protesters by kneeling with them in support for cause of justice in the George Floyd case. The department later tweeted that they were committed to listening. One of the ways that we can help to eradicate social justice in our society is through education and compassion. This resonates strongly with our Ark-Bolton norms, pillars, and our virtues. Our pillar, always learning, encourages us always to learn more. So during this period, take some time to find out about different races and their experiences. Another Ark norm, be kind, inspires us to apply our virtue of compassion to all areas of our lives. Therefore, we must be compassionate when discussing and sharing our views about George Floyd and racial injustice. Also, remember to be kind and compassionate to yourself. This event has been traumatic for many and has raised some very difficult questions about society and justice. You will have noticed that during this time there are some communities are organising marches and protests to express their feelings about racial injustice. Peaceful protests are an example of one way that people express their views and bring attention to their concerns. Peaceful protests should be carried out in a lawful and respectful way. There are many ways of practicing virtues that can affect change within society by drawing attention to often overlooked or underrepresented issues. You can practice the virtues of justice and compassion by taking some time to reflect on your own experience and understanding of race growing up in a multicultural city. You could do this by writing a passage or a poem or artwork, and we'd love you to share that work by sending it into info@arkbolton.org. Above all, I want to tell you that you must stay home and take care of your siblings and family and keep yourselves safe. And that just leaves us with time to do some shout outs and to award our gift cards. So this week's nominees for the gift card are all people who've shown an extended commitment to working really, really well under the difficult conditions of lockdown. So really well done to all of these people. You've shown with a bit of perseverance, with a bit of hard work, you really, really can make the most of quite a difficult situation. So well done to Alishba Mohammed, Asma Shaheen, Aisha Begum, Zain Mahmood, Alina Ali, and Amil Rahman. All of you have shown fantastic commitment to your online education. And without further ado, the Amazon gift card goes out to Amil Rahman. Really, really well done, Amil. This is in recognition of the work you've done across your subjects, but particularly to your dedication to your science work. Absolutely fantastic quantity of work being done, but also scoring 100% accuracy in all of the work that you've produced. Really, really well done. And the final shout out is for our artwork of the week. And again, the winner of another Amazon gift card voucher. And this week it goes to Ali Awad. So absolutely fantastic. I mean, you can see the quality of the work Ali is producing. This is also the second time that Ali's had a piece of his work featured in Assembly. But the first time he's receiving a gift card for it. So really, really well done, Ali. It's good to see that you're keeping yourself nice and busy during lockdown. I look forward to seeing some of the finished pieces when you come back in September. So with that said, I hope you all have a lovely weekend. I hope it's not too miserable and wet, and have another fantastic, hard-working week. And actually, I'm really looking forward to speaking to quite a few of you on Tuesday to catch up with you about how your work's going. And I know that the rest of the members of staff are really, really looking forward to chatting to you as well. So take care, and we'll catch up with you next week.